Throughout history, empires have risen and fallen, shaping the world we live in today. They have been centers of power, culture, and innovation, but also of conflict and conquest. In this documentary, we will journey back in time to explore the 5 largest empires to have ever existed, ranked by the sheer expanse of the land they controlled at their peak. Coming in at number 5 is the Spanish Empire. Spanning from the late 15th century to the early 19th, it was one of the first truly global empires. Fueled by the Age of Discovery, Spain established a vast colonial network, particularly in the Americas, where it controlled immense territories from California to Patagonia. At its zenith in the late 18th century, the Spanish Empire covered over 13.7 million square kilometers. Its legacy is profound, leaving behind a common language and culture that unites hundreds of millions of people across the world today. Our 4th largest empire is the Qing dynasty of China. Established in 1636 and lasting until 1912, it was the last imperial dynasty to rule China. At its peak in the late 18th century, the Qing Empire governed a territory of 14.7 million square kilometers. This vast, multi-ethnic empire brought together diverse peoples under a single administration, expanding its borders to include Tibet, Mongolia, and Xinjiang. The Qing dynasty's long reign left an indelible mark on the cultural and political landscape of modern China. The 3rd largest empire in history is the Russian Empire. From 1721 until its collapse in the 1917 revolution, the Russian Empire stretched across 3 continents. At its greatest extent in 1895, it covered an astonishing 22.8 million square kilometers from the Baltic Sea in the west to the Pacific Ocean in the east, and from the Arctic in the north to the borders of Afghanistan in the south. This colossal land empire was a mosaic of countless ethnicities and cultures, ruled by the absolute power of the Tsars. At number 2, we have the Mongol Empire. Forged in the 13th century by the legendary Genghis Khan, it became the largest contiguous land empire in history. In just a few decades, Mongol horsemen conquered a staggering amount of territory, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan. At its height, the empire covered 24 million square kilometers. The Mongols' rule, though often brutal, connected the East and West like never before, fostering trade and cultural exchange along the famous Silk Road. Finally, the largest empire to have ever existed was the British Empire. At its peak in the early 20th century, it held sway over 35.5 million square kilometers, nearly a quarter of the Earth's total land area. It was famously known as the empire on which the sun never sets, with territories on every continent, including vast lands in North America, Australia, Africa, and the Indian subcontinent. The British Empire's influence on global trade, law, language, and culture was immense, and its legacy continues to be debated and felt across the globe. From the conquistadors of Spain to the legions of Britain, these 5 empires represent the height of imperial power in human history. They have left behind legacies that are as vast and complex as the territories they once ruled, forever changing the course of civilization.